Here's Dalvin Cook, third year back from Florida State. And he finally is out of bounds, but he's down inside the 20-yard line. A big play there on the first play of the game. Give him 58 yards on the ground.
First and 10 at the 17-yard line.
Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for first and 10. On the ground, it's Cook. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. A good response by the defense, sending them backwards after that huge gain last play.
Hey, alert, 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 alert.
On second down, Cook. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. They'll get 4 back there on the run, but now they're looking up at a 3rd and 12 situation.
It's a gain of 4. Brings up 3rd and 12.
6 seconds. 180. Mike 27. Come on, G.
They'll run for the first time with the former Bearcat, Mike Boone. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves him just short for 4th down.
But it's 4th down.
Dan Bailey now for the field goal try. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Bailey's kick is good. Well, after marching down the field, only getting 3 there, kind of feels like a win for the defense.
And it does. They'll go to the sideline feeling a lot better that they didn't give up a touchdown after the march against them. But if I were the offense, I wouldn't hang my head over that one. That's a good drive, and 3 points were put on the board.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
Flacco going to bring up the Broncos 1st and 10 at their own 22. From the gun, Flacco. The completion to Riddick. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Play action. Flacco. He's got his tight end Fant. And he's got this almost to the 40 before going out. 18 big yards on that one and a Denver first. Fant, the first-round pick out of Iowa, taken 20th overall. Second tight end taken in the draft. Amazingly, the second Iowa tight end taken in the draft is teammate T.J. Hockenson. Fant really wowed everyone. And Indianapolis at the Combine, and now trying to parlay that into an impressive NFL career.
Watch the pass.
On 2nd and 11 now. Flacco Got a man that's complete to Hamilton. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
Bravo. Coming to you, coming to you. 40's Mike. 40's Mike. Let's go.
Third down, Flacco from the gun. Open man here is Hamilton. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 44-yard line. Flacco will come to the line, 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Back to the running game. It's Freeman. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
Flacco throws complete to Sutton. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. 16 yards, a first down. Flacco will come to the line, 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. Operating out of the gun, Flacco. He's going to launch this thing way down. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Noah Fant. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Broncos have taken the lead.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody, but those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. Defense just has to hate those guys.
This drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know. We know.
Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Von Miller in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 for him now on the year.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone. Switches. Run. Alert, 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 alert.
On third down, Mayfield. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And got his man complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Call that a gain of 38. A big march forward on the third down conversion.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Mayfield off the play fake. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down.
But depending on the team, they'd call that an explosive play or a chunk play, the one that they got on the previous one. They tried to go back and get another one, didn't they?
They did, but unsuccessful on that 2nd attempt. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Mayfield now. This is screen to Abdullah. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14.
35. 20. Check in. Watch the run, regular.
Mayfield with it once more. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 24-yard line. On first down, Abdullah. And a good run as he manages 7 yards down to the 17. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
We want it. Come to my world.
Back to the ground. This time Cook. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Tackled by Bradley Chubb, the number 5 pick in the 2018 draft. But keep in mind, if you're thinking of staying on the ground, this is a top 5 rush defense.
Yeah, but I don't think you shy away totally with the run. At least show them the hint of a run before you decide to throw the football.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. They were ahead of schedule after the gain of 7 on first down, but the defense does not budge on 2nd and 3rd. And Bailey able to knock it through. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
Early in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Everson Griffin in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Now the Notre Dame man, this is Theo Riddick. Give the tackle there to Daniil Hunter.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Here's Flacco. Under pressure, and Flacco's going to be dropped. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Taking it about the 36. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10.
Pistol.
A shotgun handoff. This is Abdullah. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
Good job, D. Good job, D. That's right.
Looking to throw on second down. Mayfield. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. Now that screen there on second down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize it is broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on third down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
Here's Mayfield. The throw complete to Beebe. And he can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line. Well short of the first. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. Now a man who punted for the Broncos for 6 years, Britton Colquitt, on to kick it away, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops, and if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
They'll let this thing go for... And that'll be intercepted by the Pro Bowl safety Harrison Smith. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may have forced them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
Mayfield to throw it. Looking for his running back, and he's got it. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. First down, Mayfield. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they even let you play.
Hey, check Mike 34. Mike 34. Watch the run. Watch the run. Watch the run. Watch that.
Throwing, Mayfield. Lets it fly for Thielen. And his pass incomplete.
Check out.
So a very tight first half. We had to break in a 1-point game as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters, as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace, because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
On 2nd and 7, Flacco. He's going to air one out, and that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Bronco from the gun. He's got a man. It's Sutton that's complete. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now it's Freeman. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. You think back to 2018, many people thought it would be Royce Freeman taking over as the lead back in Denver. Spent a 3rd-round pick on him, but it was Philip Lindsay who would be in the catbird seat as the #1 running back. But still for Freeman, not a bad look. And Freeman lost the football, and the Vikings pick up the football. Often on fumble.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
All day, just like that. Just like that.
1st down, here's the run with Cook. The All-Pro Von Miller there on the tackle.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
They're not ready for this. They still playing soccer. Y'all playing the wrong football.
Hey, watch this, watch this.
Again, it's Cook. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
A big hole there. How about him handling the point of attack? Just positioning himself so that run could go right off of his backside and deep into the secondary.
They'll run with Cook. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are going to retake the lead. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Out of the gun, they give to Freeman. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Now a play fake here on first down. He's going to let it go deep for the... And that'll be intercepted by the Pro Bowl safety Harrison Smith. And the return will stop him well inside their own 20 at the 15-yard line.
All right, work with me, partner. This is a classic understatement. Their execution has been very poor. Last 3 drives, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Winning football? We're not seeing it right now.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 17 yards, first down, Vikings.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
They run again on first down. Cook. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. On second down, it's Cook, and he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Point it right, point it right, point it right. Check, 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 check. Check 99.
Mayfield from the gun on third down. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up fourth down. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Monday. Go team, still. Check Mike 40. I know he ain't got it.
Let's go. Hey, Mike 40.
Monday. That's right.
On second and a couple. Flacco. Well, they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. On first down, Cook. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4.
Watch the run.
They run it again with Cook. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
They'll run it with Madison. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. A big hitter there, a first down gain of 26 yards. So first and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They'll try to run with Madison, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Alexander Madison, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Oh, I was just about to say he had missed an extra point all season, but there it is. His first miss, no good. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together. Say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z. and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. And the Vikings pick up the football. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line.
Brandon, I don't want to violate any of our broadcasting rules by declaring a game over before it's over. But that one, that puts them in real jeopardy there.
Absolutely. It was a two-possession game. It is a two-possession game at this stage in the fourth. They needed points out of that drive.
And obviously now, no chance at all to get those points that they so desperately needed.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
Here we go, D. Say. Hurry. Switch. 51, Mike.
Real.
Go, Mike 51.
Hurry.
Hey, let's go. Calm the crowd.
Running from the gun, it's Abdullah. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
And that'll be off the crossbar and out. It's short. He couldn't get it there. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, he had that one on target. That's half the battle. The other half of the battle, however, is distance.
And he nearly had that, too. But it was the crossbar that said otherwise. And that'll deny him a shot at 3.
A pass there complete to Sutton. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. They look to throw on 1st and 10 with Flacco. Looking for Sanders here on the deep ball. Emmanuel Sanders, the intended receiver. But it's going to be 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Flacco looks to throw. That's caught inside the 20. So with the pass being completed, they'll go ahead and take that instead.
Nothing extra to be gained. Pass interference at the spot, completed the pass. That was your play, so it might as well have not even had the penalty.
Stay with your man. Mark 55.
Done. 5-0.
55. Right there in the middle. 55. He's tired of me. He's tired of us.
Hey, Hunt.
1st and 10, and Flacco looking to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by Anthony Harris. And now look at him go. The 30. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And following the pick 6, and they had decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better.
And this will be caught at the 30. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Jake Butt, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Broncos get a bit closer. McManus's point after is good. And that will get him one closer. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. 2 scores down, 2 timeouts at their disposal. This is a critical onside kick. And this one travels out of bounds, so unsuccessful there on the onside kick try. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Mayfield on play action. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. A second down run for Abdullah. And an alley to run. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 16 yards, a first down. After he cleared the line of scrimmage, nice little hole developed.
Yeah, you get great blocking right there at the start. But how about his vision, finding the open spaces and letting his feet carry him to him?
Well, the lead late in the 4th, but Mayfield's going to throw it. A deep ball for Dotson. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Now Mayfield. And that is incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the first down. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
It's 4th down.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th.
Mike's 47. Mike's 47. Watch the back. Watch the back.
Hurry, hurry.
Seven's the mic, bro. 7's the mic.
Here we go.
47's the mic. 47's the mic.
Now Mayfield on 4th down. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that is incomplete. Mike Zimmer got to be unhappy with how that turned out. And the Broncos will take over on downs. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Mike, 55.
Gun.
55, Mike.
On the iron. On the iron.
From the gun, Flacco. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. Picked off at the 14. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
First and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Back to the ground on 1st down. Here's Madison. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Alexander Madison with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And the lead is up to 18 now.
32. Broncos 14.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. He'll get this one to Patrick. And only able to get 2 here, stopped at the 30. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense that it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So for Minnesota, they move back over 5, 6-5, and they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week.